Welcome to Chad Hates Carbs. Today we're going to be doing some pumpkin scones. Another one of Carolyn's recipes to use up some canned pumpkin that we had. So let's get started. First thing we got is 2.5 cups of almond flour, to which we're going to add 1/3 cup of Swerve sweetener. And then we're going to mix in 1/4 cup of coconut flour. Then we're going to add a tablespoon of baking powder. Baking powder, not baking soda. Important difference. And just keep whisking this stuff together before we add the wet stuff. Then we're going to go ahead and add in 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Get all the chunks out of here. Then we're going to add 3/4 cup of chopped pecans. Obviously, those are optional. If you don't like pecans in your scones, you don't have to put them in. Get those mixed through here. Okay. Then we're going to add our half a cup of pumpkin pie, pumpkin puree. Pumpkin pie. And then we're going to add 2 eggs that I already beat. I don't know that I'm going to use a whisk for this. Let's take that out of there. And then we're going to add 1/4 cup of melted butter. And then finally, the final piece is 1.5 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice. And I found some in the cupboard, so we're going to actually use actual pumpkin pie spice. See how that turns out. So then at this point, we're going to just stir this until we get a reasonable dough, and I'll be back when that's done. I'm very glad I took that whisk out because this is very thick. So at this point, what we want to do is we want to turn it out onto this baking sheet here. I've got a silicone sheet on there so it doesn't stick. I'm going to turn this out onto this, and it says make it about 1 inch thick, so we want it to be pretty thick. It says 6 by 8, which that seems 6 by 8-ish. I'm not gonna get out the measuring tape, but then it says use a sharp knife. I'm not really sure why I would use a sharp knife when I have this fabulous spatula, but it says cut rectangle into 6 even squares, and then cut each square into 2 triangles. So I'm guessing that would be 1/3 maybe. So we'll do that. Okay. Okay, now that we've done that, let's separate them out. There we go. And then separate them yet again. Then you do that, and then separate them, and then slap them in a 325-degree oven. It says 23 minutes, or until firm to the touch and lightly brown. So we'll probably do 20 minutes and then check on them then. So we'll see you in a few minutes. Closer to 27 minutes. They didn't feel very firm, but they're starting to brown on these edges here, and they're still not super firm. So I'm not exactly sure why when she says firm to the touch, I'm not sure what that means. I don't know. So I think I'm going to let it sit. I might check real quick. Yeah. Maybe a little bit moist yet. Well, I'll stick them back in for another couple minutes. So maybe minutes. We'll see. Another couple minutes and they really don't look that much different, and they're not really that much different texture. So I'm just going to call this good. I don't really want to cook them for, you know, forever and ever. So we're going to go ahead and let them sit. It says to let them cool, and then we'll come back and taste them once they cool down. Okay, so we let these sit for a second. Let's go ahead and try them out with some butter, because buttered scones, that's the thing. Go ahead and cut that open a little bit. Texture's pretty good. Definitely got that kind of flakiness going on, even though it's not really a flaky kind of thing. The pumpkin generally doesn't give you any of that texture. It's still pumpkin-y. It's still got that moistness factor to it, but that's good. That's really good. I like that a lot. Not quite as mind-blowing as the pumpkin pie cupcakes, but good. Like, this is probably only a 8.5 or a 9. The nuts are a really good addition. I like that. And yeah, definitely a lot like eating a scone. There isn't any of that shortbread nature that you sometimes get out of a scone, but as far as the rest of the bits are there. So yeah, another great recipe by Carolyn. 2 thumbs up. She's amazing. If you don't go to her site, you definitely should. So until next time, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you then.